it was the worst deal in pro sports history. 1 year later was the absolute worst deal in professional sports. On your behalf, on the Warriors' behalf, the best deal.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
How did you go through that knowing you're making $11 million a year, you should be making $25 million a year, but in the same token, if you don't sign a $44 million deal, the Warriors have to decide on whether they're going to keep me or Clay.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors are never able to sign Andre.
Mm-hmm.
And then in hindsight, fast forward a couple more years later, also not able to sign KD as well. So how were you able to go through that and see the bigger picture and know I'm going to ultimately make my money? But right now, I mean, there was a time where I think, there was a time where I was making more money than you like you were the 5th or 6th highest paid player on our team.
It's all intentionality, and it sounds so freaking cheesy and cliche because I'm talking about it right now, but like this is exactly how I thought. And it's like I talked to my wife about it right before I signed. I was flying into Phoenix the day before opening night, which by the way was probably one of the worst games signing after signing a contract in NBA history too. We were on the road to open up in Phoenix, and at the time Larry Riley, Bob was there, my agent, and they're like, we're trying to figure out coming to a deal. And like it was that one thing I had to just tell myself, like, one, let's keep perspective here. Like $44 million over 4 years, more money than my pops ever made in the league. Cause I've been around the league for 16 years watching my dad play. Like I know how far the league has grown from when he played, and like that's good money. Support my family, I got a lot of security. I just want to be healthy. Like, let's just focus on that. Not what you leaving on the table, what you could have made, and then don't count anybody else's money. Like at the end of the day, when you sign, like that's your decision. You gonna rock with it. You hopefully have a lot more years to play this game. And I try to set that foundation for my mindset right then and there, and never negotiate with myself afterwards. Never like second guess. Never come back to that moment like, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, because that's not how life works. So I had to be really intentional about it. I hate like it sounds so simple and fairy tale because it did work out, but I do give myself credit that was the perspective that I made sure I had and didn't want to let anything distract me from what could have been or what I left on the table, what other situation that could have been out there. And thankfully, like you said, you listed off 5 things that were kind of consequences of that, and I was still taken care of. I was still good. So that meant a lot in that moment.
Did signing a $44 million deal, which like you said is a lot of money, but then ultimately you realize like I'm not even making half what I should. Did that play any role into you ultimately leaving Nike and saying I'm going to go sign with Under Armour?
That is a great question. And yes, that is actually a fantastic. Nobody's ever really put that 2 and 2 together. It was an opportunity to, I guess there's always that theme in the league when somebody's coming up with a contract extension or free agency or whatever, like, do you bet on yourself? Like, what does that, do you bet on yourself? What does that mean, right? Everybody's, like a Nerlens Noel type situation. You have somebody like DeAndre Ayton right now. You got guys that had good money on the table. How it works out, we'll see, right? With that piece, like knowing I had 4 years on the court and got to survey the free agency situation to just see where I was at on that side of and that part of my career, like building something from scratch, taking a chance to put my fingerprint on a brand from the ground up and have a company that was going to kind of invest behind me. That was a huge opportunity, and it was kind of going against the grain a little bit in terms of at that time the stable that Nike had, and everybody can talk about they do it the best and this and that. That's matter of opinion, but the fact that I got to go and get in the signature shoe game, build a brand, be able to inspire and storytell around things that are important to me, like we're now 9 years removed from that. And I got this freaking logo on my hat, and we have hopefully something that will continue to be part of the legacy for years and years and years and years to come. That was me betting on myself. And it was it's been a fun process from day one. And yeah, I don't know if I would have made that decision had, things gone differently with the contract stuff.